Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2017 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences, and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating World Toilet Day on every 19th November. Every year, 3.5 billion people still live without safety managed sanitation, including 419 million who practice open defecation as per World Health Organization and UNICEF 2023. 2.2 billion still live without safely managed drinking water, including 115 million people who drink surface water as per World Health Organization UNICEF 2023. And also, 2 billion people still lack basic hygiene services, including 653 million with no facility at all. And as per World Health Organization and UNICEF 2023. Unsafe water, sanitation, and hygiene are responsible for the deaths of around 1,000 children under 5 every day, as quoted by World Health Organization 2023. Children who live in extremely fragile contexts are 3 times more likely to practice open defecation, 4 times more likely to lack basic sanitation services, and 8 times more likely to lack drinking water services, as per UNICEF 2024. Toilets are a place for peace is the theme for 2024 World Toilet Day. Sanitation for peace and sanitation for all. This essential space at the center of our lives should be safe and secure. But for millions of people, sanitation is under threat from conflict, climate change, disasters, and neglect. Safe toilets for all by 2030 is one of the targets of Sustainable Development Goal 6, but the world is seriously off track. 3.5 billion people still live without safely managed sanitation, including 419 million who practice open defecation. Faster action to improve and protect people's access to sanitation is critical to building a fairer, more peaceful world. Toilets under threat. Conflict, extreme weather events, and disasters can destroy, damage, or disrupt sanitation services. When toilet systems don't work or don't exist, untreated human waste spreads in the environment, unleashing deadly diseases such as cholera. Governments must ensure that sanitation and water services are resilient, effective, accessible to everyone, and shielded from harm. Toilets are places for peace. This essential space at the center of our lives should be safe and secure. But for billions of people, sanitation is under threat from conflict, climate change, disasters, and neglect. Toilets are a place for protection. By creating a barrier between us and our waste, sanitation services are essential for public and environmental health. But when toilet systems are in adequate, damaged, or broken, pollution spreads and deadly diseases get unleashed. Toilets are a place for progress. Sanitation is a human right. It protects everyone's dignity and especially transforms the lives of women and girls. And more investment and better governance of sanitation are critical for a fairer, more peaceful world. There is no single UN entity dedicated exclusively to water issues. Over 30 UN organizations carry out water and sanitation programs, reflecting the fact the water issues run through all of the UN main focus areas. The UN water role is to coordinate them all so that the UN family delivers as one in response to water related challenges. The world is seriously off track to meet internationally agreed water related goals and targets, including Sustainable Development Goals SDG 6, to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all by 2030. The UN Water Blueprint for Acceleration SDG 6 Synthesis Report on Water and Sanitation 2023 is a concise guide to rapidly delivering concrete results. Today is also commemorated as International Journalists Day, which is observed every year on November 19th. It's a day that's celebrated in the honor of the memories of those journalists who laid down their lives while performing their duties. Journalists serve as the eyes and ears of the public. They are responsible for providing us with the necessary information we need. It is therefore important to have a day to recognize their efforts. All over the world, journalists face threats to their lives. Some are purposely targeted and murdered because of their work, while some are killed in incidents such as bomb explosions. Many governments around the world target journalists for harassment, intimidation, and violence as they cover political stories. Journalism dates back to the Han Dynasty in China, which made us of regularly published news bulletins, but it was not until the 17th century that publications reporting the news to the general public is a standardized fashion began to appear. Mass printing technologies like printing press were developed and allowed for establishment of newspapers to provide increasingly literate audiences with the news. The first records of privately owned newspaper publishers in China date back to the late Ming Dynasty in 1582. In Europe, the first newspaper is often recognized as Johann Carlois' relation, Aller Fuhrmann, and Jendek Verdigan, historian, published in 1605 in Strasbourg. In some regions, such as Roman Empire and the British Empire, journalistic enterprises were started as private ventures. Other countries, such as France and Prussia, tightly controlled by the press, treating it principally as an outlet for government propaganda and subjecting it to consistent censorship. Other governments, such as Russian Empire, were even warier of journalists. They effectively outlawed journalistic publications until the mid 19th century. As newspaper publications became a more established practice, over time, publishers increased publication to a weekly or a daily rate. Centers of trade such as London, Amsterdam, and Berlin had a heavier concentration of newspapers. Latin America established its first newspapers in the mid to late 19th century. Today, people increasingly consume news digitally through e-readers, smartphones, and other electronic devices. This has led to the decline of traditional media and the reduction of staff in newsrooms. The digital era has also introduced citizen journalism thanks to the internet. Today is also commemorated as International Men's Day, which is commemorated on November 19th every year, focuses on men's health, improving gender relations, highlighting male role models, and promoting positive expressions of masculinity. International Men's Day is observed on November 19th, although when the holiday was first created, it was celebrated in February. In 1968, an American journalist named John P. Harris wrote an editorial highlighting a lack of balance in the Soviet system when prompted an International Women's Day for female workers, but failed to deliver a male counterpart. Harris started that though he agreed there should be a day to celebrate women, the day served as a flaw within the communist system. In early 1990s, Thomas Hosted, the director of the Missouri Center for Men's Studies, invited organizations in the US, Australia, and Malta to hold small International Men's Day events during the month of February. Oster successfully hosted these events for 2 years, but his 1995 attempt was poorly attended. Discouraged, he seized plans to continue the function. Australia followed suit, making Malta the sole country to continue celebrating. In 1999, Trinidad and Tobago, and the day was revived by Jerome Tilaksing from the University of the West Indies. He realized that even though there was a day for fathers, there was no day to celebrate men who didn't have kids or who were young boys and teenagers. So Tilak Singh understood the importance of positive male role models as his father had been an excellent example for him and chose to celebrate International Men's Day on November 9th, the day of his father's birthday, as well as the day a local soccer team had united his country with their endeavors to qualify for the World Cup. Since Tilak Singh's revival, International Men's Day has served to promote positive aspects of male identity based on the premise that men respond more constructively to positive role models than to negative stereotyping. The day is not intended to compete with International Women's Day, but to highlight the importance of men's physical and mental health and positively masculinity. Today is also commemorated as Women Entrepreneurship Day, which is celebrated internationally, which started in the US and celebrated on November 19th every year. About 85% of purchases close to 20 trillion in global spending is credited to women. However, the workforce lacks women and they earn only 10% of the world's income due to the fact that women earn less than their male counterparts. Over the years, we have seen a rise in women entrepreneurs making headway and owing profitable business. Women's Entrepreneurship Day recognizes this contribution and seeks to promote a more conducive environment for business women. Wendy Diamond, a social entrepreneur and humanitarian, volunteered with the Atlante Foundation that provides microcredit to locally impoverished women in Honduras. This inspired her to start a movement that empowers women and elevates poverty, thus creating the Women Entrepreneurship Day organization, WIDO, in 2013 as a non-governmental, non-racial, non-gender, and non-political volunteer non-profit organization. She established WIDO to bring light to the plight of 250 million girls living in poverty worldwide and deserve a chance. It also seemed to empower 4 billion women living in this world. In 2014, the organization held its inaugural Women's Entrepreneurship Day in New York City at the United Nations. WIDO empowers women and girls to become active participants in the economy by creating a network of women leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs to initiate startups, drive economic expansion, and enhance communities. It also builds a community of like minded individuals that women leaders can benefit from to take a real impact in this world. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kennedy, and Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti proclaimed November 11th as an official day for women entrepreneurship. The United Nations also celebrates the day annually. Additionally, the US House of Representatives recognizes the WIDO movement as a day of honoring women entrepreneurs under the leadership of Congressman Grace Meng. Women Entrepreneurship Day needs more support worldwide because if women receive fair and equal opportunities, they can make a greater impact in their country, boost the economy, and inspire others. And now, with a multitude of opportunities, especially towards women, women have even more opportunities to do so. So, with this, we shall end today's commemoration. And we thank everyone for being part of the commemorations. Now, we'll move on to presentations by our presenters. We have invited presentations from our beloved participants and presenters. We request everyone to share their details in the chat box so that we can invite you for the presentations. We have with us Mr. Pradeep, who is working for animal welfare and animal rights and has been almost working for a decade and has been closely associated with us. So we invite you, Pradeep, for your topic on antimicrobial resistance and its impact on children's health. Now you can unmute yourself, start your presentation by starting your video, audio, and sharing your presentation.
Thank you, Ravindra sir, for creating such a wonderful platform and encouraging young minds to present about various diversified topics. So, hello, a very good evening, one and all. My name is Pradeep, and I work as an Pillar Animal Welfare. As Ravindra just told me that it's been more than a decade. So, we all know that health is very vitally important. And being this week, especially it's the theme of for children. So we are animal welfare is not only well-being of the animals, it's for the environment, public health. It involves children also. So today I'm going to talk about the topic on antimicrobial resistance and how it is affecting children health. Just a moment, I'll share my screen. Hope my screen is useful to everyone. Uh, is the screen is visible to everyone? Because I don't know whether you are able to see the screen or not.
Yes, ma'am. It's on dairy industry.
No, sir. So, today's topic is about antimicrobial resistance and its impact on children. So, antimicrobial resistance, thank you, sir. Thank you. So, antimicrobial resistance (AMR) is one of the public health issue. It's not only affecting the animal health, it's also affecting various children health. Because excessive use of antimicrobial resistance in the medicine wise and even the animal welfare and its animal husbandry, so which has a potential effects on health, environment, and public health. Today we are talking about the children health, how it is been affecting the children health. Before going to the exact of my antimicrobial resistance, let's see about what actually are farm animals and how it is the nexus of connection between the agricultural resistance and how it is affecting the children. So, what are actually farm animals? Do you have any idea, any chance, any cases? What are actually farm animals? No problem. So, farm animals are the animals which are domesticated animals which are used for various purposes, mostly like cow and or pigs and hens. So mostly in agriculture things we trade from domesticated further. Uh, so you can see that good images of chicken, pig, and you can see that uh, calmly sitting calf and its cow. They have been testing out there. The beautiful images you can see in the picture. I hope it is visible. So now, till 1994 in India, we have this pastoral livestock farming mechanism. So what actually is the pastoral farming and or free range livestock farming is? Earlier days we used to keep the animals like our family members. I mean to say, whenever we take for agriculture purpose or anything, we don't use as a working animals. We just feed them, we just provide them shade, we just provide them love, empathy, care, and so do the animals also have a special bond with the families. So you can also see that here in the picture, a woman is feeding the hens. This is the way of farming practice, or even the animals has been put it. They used to put these animals in a small, I mean, it's in a wooden box. That too, it has a space for its movement and it's able to perform its natural behavior. And if we talk about hen, normally hen likes to perch the food and do the dust baiting, perching, foraging. So all these are the natural behaviors of a hen. So you can see that in the picture, it's a coordinated animated picture, but you can see that how the hen are searching for the food and how the chickens are there. So they're performing their natural behavior. Slowly and gradually, as the Indian economy has been increasing, even the dot-com boom has been increased, the incomes of the people has steadily increased. So whenever the income is increased, whenever the new demand new people want to go for a different taste. So what actually has happened is the population has also grown because whenever there is urbanization and everything, so the population also has steadily increased. At the same time, in order to substantiate the growing population, the demand for meat and dairy products has been increased. So this has given rise to people like industrial people. So they started to shift the traditional way of farming to industrial animal agriculture. They thought that we have to feed the population, and that could only possible by industrializing the animals. The way, but they haven't realized the what are the potential impacts when the animal has been kept in a condition. You can see this first picture. You can see that how the animals have been freely roaming. And then the second picture, this is the condition, the current condition of the uh, factory farms. That means especially in poultry, you can say that this is the current condition of the hen, which has been kept in the image which you are seeing. It is called as a battery cage. So it's nothing but a small like if you can draw the barren wire mesh, you can see that. Uh, it is hard if you can take a plain paper, if you can stand on the plain paper, how uncomfortable you will feel. The same thing here, the hands have been confined in A4 size sheet of paper. They are not provided any sort of sufficient movement for their to perform their natural behavior. And they, if you can see that they have been seen in while you seeing any in a traffic road or any other areas, you can see that in goods carrier, lot of the time, like hens have been carried in a packed, tightly packed, closely packed. There is no movement in that. Even sometimes what it happens is some actually die during the transportation itself, and some had a diseases, which in turn spread to the hand also. So various diseases like influenza, many other diseases. So these not only affect the animal health, but also affect the public health too. And this is the aerial view of a factory farm and a poultry cages. So you can see that how the hens are not able to stand properly. And here the near surface, you can see the piles of ammonia and nitrous oxide. And are all the animal waste typically mixed with a lot of antibiotics, and including there are many other uh, which are with many other drugs has been used, which is not at all recommended. So in order to raise these hens in an abnormal way, they use a lot of antibiotics. So which in turn not only affect the animal health, because for a hen normally to grow, it will take around maybe 30 to 40, 40 days, more than a year to get it. But here for daily maybe 1 to 2 eggs. If a normally pastoral farming, it will 1 to 2 eggs normally a hen gives us. But here 30 to 40 eggs will be there per hen. So they have made it as a machine rather than living being. They have made it as a machine to produce an egg as a commodity. Now what after that happens is whenever the eggs have been hatched or come out of it, here the male chicks are treated as a byproducts in the byproduct, and they are thrown in a hot boiling water. Their beaks have been trimmed. They're not provided, and they at the time of the uh, trimming of the beaks, these male chicks experience a traumatic pain and suffering because they don't have any proper mechanisms, and most of them, if they are died, they dump in like a waste in the nearby water bodies. Now imagine it's a new, if you take up a newborn baby, if you do the same thing to newborn baby, we call it as an inhuman behavior, apathetic thing. Sorry, an inhuman behavior, and it's a violence. Now, how about these animals? They can't speak like us. So, are they supposed to live in this harsh conditions? Are they treated to be like a food machines, food dispensary machines? No, they are not supposed to be treated like that. And what highlights in the farm and like animal agriculture industry is these are the 5 freedoms. That means freedom from hunger and thirst. Now, like any animal, if you think about being a chicken or cows or any other pigs, even they are not provided properly food or water. Most of the water or food is contaminated over there. And second thing is freedom from pain, injury, and disease. Most of the time, animals have been kept in a closed and packed conditions. Sometimes they themselves fight themselves. Sometimes they get injured because of they have been closely packed. There is no movement. There is a restriction of the movement. In such circumstances, what it happens is these either they got injured, and they are not given any proper medicine for that. So the freedom to express their pain and injury, and also keeping these animals in a stocking density are packed, tightly packed, they get a various zoonotic diseases and various infections too. So they are not given an opportunity to express this, to express that, hey, I am having a pain, or I am having an injury, I am having a disease. Because being a human, we can say that if we got an injury, we can say that We can go to the doctor, or we can approach anyone, or we can tell to your family. But what? How about these animals? They can't speak like us. But being confined in a very pathetic condition, not even moving up, not even provided an ample amount of space for their movement, and their whole life is restricted into the if you take hen as an example, whole life is being restricted in that battery cage only, and freedom from fear and distress. Being closely, it's something like if a person is confined in a room, a small room with very crafted condition, no food, like food and water is given. If there is no communication to anyone, he has to eat in the room. He has to sleep in the room. Only food and water is provided with a dark, dim light. How would a person will experience? He or she will definitely undergo a mental trauma, mental agony, mental pain, mental like whatever the thing, anything like mental health issues are there. He will undergo it because he has not given any communication. He has not provided any social because humans are social beings, so they meant to be communicate. There is no opportunity for his communication, and there is no opportunity to express his uh, fear also. He can't even express because there is no one in the nearby surroundings. So the freedom for similarly here comes to the farm animals. The freedom from express his fear and distress and freedom from discomfort. Since the whole life been confined to a battery cage, they're not able to move there. There is a lot of discomfort in there, and freedom to express its natural behavior. If you take a hen, because why I'm talking about hen is hen, we normally see that freedom to express is natural. Hence, they have the opportunity to perform the fetching, foraging, and all the natural behavior. So all the natural behavior has been lost. They have to stand in the battery cage, and that too with a closed pack of density. It's something like putting 50 people in a small room, and they are giving a small piece of food. Either they have to fight within themselves, they get injured, and moreover, they are not giving any opportunity to express their behavior. They experience trauma, stress. So every day, every second, every day per hour food itself, 80.3 billion land animals have been raised for food, and they have been kept in a very horrible conditions, neglecting the animal welfare. The five freedoms for the animal welfare have been totally ignored, especially when talk about the farm animal welfare. And if we talk about dairy industry, earlier days dairy means like we take milk, but however, it is seems to be like natural thing. Like after giving milk to the cow, whatever the leftover is there, you used to take it. But nowadays, what has happened is the calf has been separated from his mother, not provided any milk, and after a few days, it has been sent to the slaughterhouse. At the same time, if these cows or any buffaloes are there, so they have been used as a milking machines. So once the animal has been not able to produce any milk, they have been sent into the slaughterhouse. And the India we have this particular concept called organized sector and unorganized sector. Organized sector are something but the dairy industries are they are called as organized sector or any what we called uh, yeah. So in localities we have this self-help groups. So milk kendras we will call them. So we are used to certain amount of milk will be taken from the farmers and they will give given some price. So these are, will come under organized sector. Unorganized sector is something like where the farmers will give the milk and they will go to the every house and they will pour the milk. So now till 1994, where the sector was good, but later on, as the demand has been increased and population has been increased, the entire landscape of this farm animal welfare has been totally changed, and they have been they when we call it as animal agriculture, and now this it's been making to industrialization. Normally, what it happens is when the mechanization has been happened, it should not take away the animals' freedom. But here in the industrial animal agriculture, the welfare of the animals have been taken away, and at the same time, a lot of environmental effects, or even water gets polluted, uh, food gets toxicated, and even if you talk about here, there is also a lot of child labor also, because whenever a giant industrial factor farm, I mean industrial animal is whenever then when there is a giant factory farm setup has been taking place, so either they will ask the smallhold farmers to become a part of them, or maybe they're building a what we call as a either they will build a small setup for them, like a industrial farming setup. So they will ask these smallhold farmers, we will give some substantial amount of money for every month. So you have to take care of them. So people thought that it's an employment opportunity. Why not we have, because whenever we are doing as an agriculture point of view, we are not getting any value for that. So they have totally changed from natural way of farming into mostly into industrialized way. But however, they are not looking into the welfare perspective. And the other aspect is either the second thing, they what actually this giant factory farm industry people will do is, secondly, they will ask the smallhold farmers to work for them. So by paying them monthly salary. So how the working conditions will be is they will be these people are every day they will see the cruelty of this animal. They kept in since the animals been suffered a lot, they have been not provided properly food, and at the same time being fed with a lot of antibiotics. And at the same, what happens is they also experience a lot of trauma, physical trauma, being it a physical trauma. Physical health is been deteriorated because a lot of antibiotics or any uh, every day they have been exposed to a toxic gases, toxic animal waste because of the ammonia, nitrous oxide, and at the same time, their family, if for example, children also they're forced to work in this poultry farm instead of going to the school, so they experience a lot of color blindness and some other issues. So they get a lot of airborne diseases also, asthma, bronchitis, because of this chemicalized animal waste and all. So when we talk of here are the sustainable development goals. So normal sustainable development goals are the global goals which are adopted by the United Nations in the year of 2015 to end the poverty, achieve peace and prosperity. Now, if we can see how the animal agriculture is will be able to achieve the sustainable development goals, talking about hunger, ending the poverty, and also clean water sanitation, responsible consumption and production, and climate change, life under land and water. Are we able to meet all these individual targets with this type of production methods? Are we going to achieve it? Let's see how it is impacted. When you talk about zero hunger, ending hunger and achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. You see that the first main thing is sustainability. Now, in the industrial animal agriculture, where is sustainability? Animals are kept in a very cramped condition. Animals are not provided food and water. At the same time, human suffering is there, and the environment is getting polluted because of the huge amount of antibiotics. Antibiotic residues have been used. Where actually, where actually the sustainability is there? Sustainable livelihood is sustainable livestock farming is there or not. It is imperative that it is missing in, because there is no proper mechanisms. And okay, in spite of providing doing all this, whether it is able to meet the whether it is able to achieve the food security. No, if you talk about global hunger index of India, we are in the 105 position. It's not about being having a, it's not being less resources. We are having resources, but it's the way of the food is produced, how it is produced. If you see this, for see, this is the 2023. You can see this global hunger index of in the year 2023. How much amount, even if in the undernourishment, we say that 1/3 of the children are undernourished and 1/6 of the children are wasting. And globally, in the global scenario, children still stunting. That means low height for age. That means not, low height. They are not about the BMI, body mass index. They have uneven weight. And even if we talk about child wasting also, low weight. That means they are not in the adequate weight, adequate height. That is 1/6. Undernourishment, if we talk about insufficient calorie intake. Why would be in insufficient calorie intake will be there? We are an agrarian country. We have 3 crops every month. Then where it actually is going it? Why we are having a malnutrition problem? And why India having in the instead of being in the top 10 position, why in the 105th position? Where we are producing food, we are already producing the industrial animal agriculture mechanisms. We are providing the food and we are providing the egg for only 5 rupees. But that is meeting, is that food is sustainable? Is that food is meeting the people who are starving every day and sleeping in the hunger in the streets with hunger stomach? Are we are able to meet it? That's $1 million question. Because we are not able to uh, meet the growing population needs, and at the same time, 40% of the food has been completely wasted, which is responsible for greenhouse gas emissions. And if you talk about animal agriculture, every year globally, animal agriculture is responsible for 14.5% to 16.5% global greenhouse gas emissions. By 2050, if the same scale of production mechanisms continued, it will increase up to 50%. And when you talk about good health and well-being, where actually is the good health and well-being in the animal agriculture? Does it really meeting the indicators of zero hunger or good health and well-being? They are all interconnected. If you see that responsible consumption, zero hunger, sanitation, and life under water, everything, these are all interconnected indicators, where actually all these indicators are matched. The current way of food production systems, especially in the industrial animal agriculture, is not even meeting the basic things of the things. We have the India, we have freshwater lakes. I mean, we have many lakes, but today, if you see the water condition of the lakes, the river Ganga or any other lakes, highly polluted, highly industrial effluents are there. Today, and Musi River in Hyderabad also, all the industrial effluents and also the ideal immersion, everything that has been polluted. Once it was a very glorified history where people used to go, take the water in some may around fathers or grandfather time. They used to drink that water. Now, if they do go there, mixed with lot of pollutants, not even aquatic life is also there. They are not also surveying. They are also dying. The BOD levels of the water is also drastically decreased. And we have this called as encroachments, where constructing flyovers and also many other buildings are there. And where there is water, There is, most of the waste has been segregated in water bodies, industrial waste, household waste, and also whatever the waste are there, any other ideal emissions are there, which are made with plaster of Paris. We dump it in the river, just polluting the entire water bodies. That is also driver for public health, right? And when you talk about pandemics, COVID-19, in the year of 2020 to 2022, 2 years, we have confined to our homes. I don't have to say it because we experience a lot of trauma, stress. So these animals experience a lot of trauma and stress every day. Just for 2 years, we have stuck. We don't have communication with everyone. There is no physical touch. No, not even we can't able to move because of this fear, stress. Everything has been created. Same thing happened every day in the factory farm cities. Every animal, the food, in the even in the dinner table, or even whatever food you are taking, the animal which you are eating on the plate is a dead animal, and that too which was died with lot of pain and suffering in it, and which is also having lot of antimicrobial resistance. And if you talk about COVID-19, it is a zoonotic, and entire world has been witnessed it. And below are the not only COVID-19, we talk about in India, 1994 plague in India, which has spread to Gujarat, Maharashtra, New Delhi, and even then leading to extreme quarantine administrative procedures of the nation. Many of the diseases. If we talk about few other epidemics in India, 2006 dengue outbreak in India, 2006 H5N1 outbreak in India, 2008 H5N1 outbreak in West Bengal, 2015 Indian swine flu outbreak in India, 2018, 2021 Nipah virus outbreak in Kerala, 2020 COVID-19, which disabled the entire economy, public health, and human lives have been created a lot of entire world has been shackled. Not only being in the public health, job wise, and also people lost their job. People also experience a lot of trauma and stress. So, where actually is the good health and well-being? Just think about it. Whether the production systems which have been which are run currently by the animal agriculture food system, is it a reliable thing that we need to ask ourselves? Is it a justifiable thing that we need to ask ourselves? And if you talk about water, every year for producing of like if you take about daily producing of 1 kg of food, if you talk about our like normal fruits or see the fruits, broccoli you have 283. For producing 1 kg of fruit, I'm saying it. If you talk about eggs, 3,920 k. If you talk about chicken, 4,325 liters of water has been only used for raising the chicken. That means cleaning the cages, and even if the water is also completely intoxicated, even it is not at all a drinkable thing also. And if we talk about pork or any other pork, and even beef, 15,415 liters of water has been produced, and that too, is it meeting the nutritional requirements of a human being? No, it is not at all meeting the any nutritional value, only certain portion, and it is also not even satisfying the hunger of the poor people also. And when we talk about goal number 6, clean water sanitation. Under 6.1, safe drinking water for all. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Where is clean water sanitation? This much amount of water has been utilized for raising of the food and raising livestock, how can a common public can have a water? You can see that the clean and accessible water for all is an essential part of the world. It is a right for us. If we want to live in there is a sufficient fresh water on the planet to achieve this. Really, the all freshwater lakes are really pure. If you talk about India point of view, forget about India. So talk about the southern states. If you take about Hyderabad itself, Hyderabad once was a not only a city of falls, it is a city of lakes. Now, if we can see that, how many water bodies is it drinkable? Not even we can't count also. However, due to bad economics or poor infrastructure, millions of people, including children, die every year from disease associated with inadequate water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. Why would the problem of water supply and sanitation and hygiene will come? We have freshwater lakes. We have everything there. Why? Then what is the problem? The problem is poor infrastructure. There is encroachments and the food production systems. And if you can see that as per the 2017, 785 million people across the world lack with basic drinking water necessity. They are lacking with the basic drinking water. Water is a necessary right. We are privileged of having water. Now they are not able to have the privilege. They are drinking the water which is infected with many waterborne illnesses, viruses. So they are drinking that water, contaminated water. They are suffering from diseases. So how we can make a difference? How we can protect human health? How we can protect ourselves from all this antimicrobial resistant, or what are the interventions we need to follow? The first and foremost thing is the intersection of environmental health, human health, and animal health is very much essential, because it's a holistic thing, and also it's called as one health. That means whenever the three are there, when there is a balance of the three systems, we can ensure the good public health and animal health and environmental health. If any one of them there is a disruption, it will ultimately affect the other. For example, if there is a lack of animal health, then will undoubtedly affect the human health and environmental health. And the policy intervention techniques or policies which are made, either that should be made in the grassroots level, thinking about the starting from the district level, not from the states country specific point of view. So every district need to emphasize and made a policy intervention mechanisms, thinking the environmental, human health, and animal health into consideration, like effective utilization of our resources, not going into the point of mechanization, but properly, without disturbing nature, without disturbing animals. We should have to develop such policy initiatives. And if you talk about environmental stresses, air pollution, noise pollution, hazardous chemicals, because whenever you see any factory farm setting, if there is a lot of stress will be there, because the few lot of chemical toxicants, fumes, everything will be there. So it will definitely affect the environment and people around us, because the water body get polluted. Where the people who used to depend on the lakes, they'll go and drink that water only. They will suffer from lot of waterborne diseases like diarrhea, amoebiac dysentery, many other illnesses. And we talk about noise pollution. Chemicalized factories will be used, so which actually in turn creates a lot of problem, and the smell, foul odor, which will it affects the, because of the animal species that too chemically toxicated, so it affects not only animal health but also the people around it, and also the environment. And if you talk about climate change, we are already seeing the state of condition of Delhi today. Most of the Delhi now today, the Supreme Court advised to follow the GRTP 4. So, no, like except the essential services, non-essential services, they have restricted. Even when you talk about the vehicles also, only light-weighted vehicles, certain restrictions are being imposed, even for education institutions. Even I hope in offices also they are telling to work from home. Delhi is our capital city of India. It's a union territory, and most of our any education institutions, everything is there. The Supreme Court is also there. But why today Delhi is facing a lot of problems because of the lot of human-made mistakes. I mean, say it's not a natural-made mistake. It's completely human-made mistakes only. The rise of concrete jungle over the time, industrialization, pollution, and also if you talk about the Delhi, Haryana, or other parts of these areas where the farmers used to burn the agriculture waste. So it is also causing it is one of the cause for the air pollution and the like the use of vehicles, vehicular emissions. Today, all this put together, they has created a Delhi, one of the city lacks with sustainability. It's a city with all the resources, but not a livable place now because of the lot of restrictions, because of the toxicity and everything. And we'll talk about pollution. Animals, humans, everyone get exposed to pollution every day. Talk about factory farms. Every day the people get exposed. They get a lot of problems, lung diseases. Animals, they get a lot of other uh, zoonotic diseases and other viral infections. And you talk about water pollution, harmful chemicals, poisonous substances are released into the water bodies. Not even thinking about the aquatic life, marine life, and the fishes. And we always, whenever any weekend comes, we want to have that. Food is a personal choice. I'm not quite beyond that, but we always want to. And the food we consume, we get a lot of diseases because the fish is also eating the plastics, microplastics. They have been induced in it. By consuming that, it is not only affecting the animal, it is affecting ourselves, our health also. In summary, how we can change all this? The first thing is uh, reducing the antimicrobial AMR, antimicrobials in the livestock farming, and also keeping the animals in a free range farming mechanisms, not suffering them, providing the natural opportunity for the to move, and also instead of dumping all the animal waste in some other natural bodies or water bodies, a proper mechanization has to be taking place. At the same time, developing the uh, sustainable food systems. Maybe plant-based food systems. Plant-based food systems are nothing new because if you talk about our ancient old days, except the meat and dairy systems, every Indian household, what our food we are eating today, they are all plant-based food. They are very inexpensive and they are also climate resilience food. Even nowadays, even recently, international organizations have also confirmed that Indian food is actually a climate resilience food. The fruits, vegetables, the veggies we eat, they are all climate resilience. They are all immune foods only. And moreover, if we can increase mostly focusing on sustainable food producing mechanisms, this could not only help save many animal lives, this could also help the smallhold farmers. because they are exposed to work in these harsh toxic mechanisms of the industrial farming settings. This will empower their life standards, living standards, especially women. To talk about that, because women are, if we talk of self-help groups, so they can start a small scale farmings systems where mostly producing mostly plants, legumes, and everything. So this could make them more self-sustainable. At the same time, by doing so, we can feed the billion of our growing population and protect from various epidemic diseases. And secondly, if you are food is a specific choice, like individual choice. Okay, if you are not able to shift to the plant-based food, or maybe due to some health problems where a medical advisory is there, you have to eat it. Instead of going for a factory farm food, you can opt for a free-range farming products. Like you can go for many a free range farming, like locally sourced foods, instead of going for any other chemicalized or any other industrial farming settings. You can source from procure from the local farmers. So in that you are strengthening the smallhold farmers and making them more economical. And finally, remember, the choices which we made on our dinner plate will not only affect our health, but also it will create a great impact on the our environment, and also our fellow beings, in the fellow beings in the sense voiceless sense. And here is a video about food adulteration. Just I think it's a movie, but you can hear it.
Pradeep, there's no sound.
Once you must.
You can go to option sharing options and enable systems.
1 minute, sir. I'm just trying to. Now you can hear, sir.
No, ma.
Oh, okay, sir. 1 minute, sir, lad. I'll end. Just a moment, sir. I think there is a technical problem. Uh, I'll share it once. Now you can hear it, sir.
No, ma.
Uh, okay, sir. No, maybe there is some problem here.
It's okay. No problem. You can try other video.
Yeah, sir. 1 minute. Sir. Just
Pradeep, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. There is some problem in the video playing, sir. So actually that video, maybe you can see it in a movie. It's a Telugu movie. So where it talks about the how the food adulteration will be there, like in the sense how it gets affected. Even the water bodies, how they, I mean, water bottles which we buy in the railway station, how they have been using the water and by filling it with tap water and selling it with the price. And also, when you talk about the uh, eggs or anything, so they have giving the hormonal injection called polystyrene, so which is affecting not only the animal health but especially the girls. So their health is also getting affected. So that is one of the uh, movie which actually talks about the food adulteration and all. Unfortunately, due to some network issue, I could not able to play that. So that's all I want to say. One thing that I want to end it is food is a medicine. Whatever food we eat, it will not only nourishes our body, but it is also uh, it is something which helps to fight against diseases. So the choices which you take at your for a dinner plate, it will not only affect your health, but also change a lot of difference in the protecting our environment and our fellow beings in case they are the animals. So with that, I'm ending the session. Thank you, Ravindra sir, and thank you everyone for so patiently listening that. Thanks a lot to Sea Holistic Health Foundation of India and Stickers. So we have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer you. So thank you, Ravindra sir.
Congratulations, Mr. Pradeep. It was really a wonderful session, very insightful. Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask by raising your hand or sharing it in the chat box. As you have rightly pointed out, the kind of food we consume, it makes up our health and well-being. Not only our health and well-being, the planet's health and well-being. If you rightly pointed out, one health paradigm where not only just human health, but also plants and animal health is also important for the balance of overall planet's health and well-being. It was very well conveyed with a lot of other aspects. So congratulations once again, and we wish you all the success for your future endeavors.
Thanks a lot, Ravindra sir.
So if there are no further queries, then we shall close the session today here. And tomorrow, we have tomorrow is the last day for this 1 week celebration. So anyone who are still interested but not have registered or willing to present can make presentations tomorrow. Utilize this opportunity and make presentations tomorrow. And there is also one more webinar that is happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. So the links have been shared, will be shared. Registration forms has been already circulated. And the joining link for the Zoom will be shared in couple of hours. Or you can check the website, those who have already registered. and join tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock also, which is organized by Usmania University. And as usual, we have our webinars happening at 6 p.m. So thank you everyone for joining us. So tomorrow, see you all tomorrow at the same time. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. So thank you everyone. Take care. Good night.